something new. Let me know what you think of it, and if you prefer this new method, or if you want me to try and use the old one some more. I am thinking about still using it, but anyways, a monk known that we'll call HD, or Hug0 Daff0d1l, did a thing about how not to be a simp and save the world. Let's take a little look at it.
5 ways to not be a simp and save the world.
No, it should be the top 5 ways on how not to be a simp and destroy the world.
It's important in the larger community that you are involved in. And this is important to the world at large. This video is really like a public service message from the Howard Dare channel to help men avoid this terrible fate, which is destroying Western civilization.
I thought you didn't give a fuck about Western civilization. First you guys are like, let it burn. And now you're like, we must save the West. May I ask what prompted this sudden change of heart?
So, let's get into it. Number 5, fake it until you make it. Okay? We are all raised to be simps. This gynocentric system is designed to take advantage of men's instincts, natural behaviors, and to exploit them. And it's pretty bad. You know, there's a reason why women are wearing makeup all the time, and what this really entails, you know, what they're trying to entice in the men around them all the time. There is a reason why this is a constant sympathy story of you have to save the women are suffering. If you're a good man, you would do this.
Mr. Strawman, give me a break.
Holy shit. That's nasty. Not only have you built a pretty big straw man, but you sound very misogynistic and even paranoid. It's not gynocentric, it's a corrupt state. Why do I have to keep repeating this? The family courts are broken. You don't seem to be in any hurry to fix that, are you?
These things are intentional, and they can turn a man into a simp, and they do. They condition the man to do it. So what I'm saying to you is, even though I know that's where most men are coming from, you've got to stop acting like women are the most important things in the world. And pleasing them is the most important thing in the world. Even if you truly feel deep down inside that pleasing women, getting together with them is the most important thing and the measure of your entire manhood. Please, for your own sake, stop doing it.
No. You can't dictate to me or anyone else what we can and can't do. I'll do whatever the hell I want to, provided it doesn't break the non-aggression principle. Oh boy. Another straw man. I never said pleasing women and getting with them is the most important thing in the world. There's something a lot of people want to do, myself included. And not in the sense of being a cuck, but in the sense that they are people and they should be treated like people.
For the sake of all men, stop doing it. For the sake of the world itself, for Western civilization, stop putting women on a pedestal, stop pretending like, stop acting like they're the most important things in the world to you, because it just opens you up as a target. Okay, moving on. Number 4. Stop thinking that you have to agree with people in order for them to like you, okay?
Some of my friends and I disagree on a few things, but that doesn't stop me from liking them and respecting them. I'm not a sycophant. I won't just blindly agree with them, but I'm not going to get triggered and cram my opinions and beliefs down their throats.
Stop being afraid of disagreeing with people, okay? You don't have to get into a verbal argument. You don't have to step up and defend particular political positions, okay? But you have to stop capitulating and agreeing with crazy people just because they're emotional. You need to recognize that if somebody is requiring you to agree with them in order for you to be their friend, that they're crazy. They're already not thinking about the issue.
Now, you don't say. What a big fucking surprise!
You know, they're putting the issue forward as a litmus test, that, you know, it's a pass or fail situation. And they're not even able to consider the complexity of the issue. So you need to stop as a man, and I don't mean you personally, I mean we as men need to curtail this tendency of agreeing with women in order to get together with them and to please them.
That's called being a cuck. Not every single man is a cuck. Sandman made the same generalization, but it was projection for him, as he admitted.
I become a cuck when I'm in love.
That right there is the problem. If you were truly self-actualized, you would have no problem fixing that flaw.
Okay, this is a simp tendency. And, you know, the man, maybe he goes along with harmless things, right? Like, does my hair look good like this? And she's already, you know, taken care of it. So, you know, you might as well say yes, even if you disagree. And the next thing you know, Katy Perry's walking around with all, you know, with her head shaved, right? With this, you know, crazy blonde color hair, right? It's terrible. So that's what happens. You know, you agree with them, and suddenly they turn themselves into a rooster. And it serves you right. So please, you know, stop doing that. And it doesn't work. You know, it doesn't work. So if somebody puts forth something crazy, like all women should be allowed, you know, there should be an equal number of women who fly jumbo jets.
If someone asks, I'll give my honest opinion. If I don't like it, I don't like it. Now, as for your objection regarding having equal representation in the workforce and hiring as many women as men, you must be thinking of regressive leftist companies like Google, or as I like to call them, Gulag. The solution: hire women who have the skills, qualifications, and other merits required for the job. It's called meritocracy, where the employment, promotion, and power are given to those who are qualified to hold such positions.
Be internally motivated, okay? And choose to do the things that you are doing in life. Don't do things out of an obligation. Don't do things because you have to do them, or at least don't even, you know, don't look at it that way. A man chooses, a slave obeys. If you're being forced to do things that you don't want to do, or even if that's your attitude, right? And I'm not suggesting that, you know, you allow yourself to be forced and then you just adopt this go-along attitude. I'm saying that, you know, you need to avoid, well, you need to choose what you want to do.
Okay, so libertarianism and voluntarism, those are good. But even in such cases, there are things we have to do that we don't want to, so that we can get something that we want. There is an incentive to be dutiful. Whether this incentive is material or personal or even spiritual is irrelevant. The thing is, there's something there that incentivizes you, and that's why you do it.
And sometimes you don't always have good choices, right? Sometimes you're choosing between two bad choices, but you are choosing one of them. So keep that in mind. Don't be resentful. They say, and I'm not sure what the study, you know, where the study is, but they say that the men who are drafted into military service and then experience, you know, really traumatic experiences, it's more difficult on them because they didn't choose to be there. You know, they say like, damn, why did I have to go through this? Why did I have to see these things? I can't forget these things, you know, and I didn't want to be there.
Wait, you admitted you had no citation? Well, coming from someone who's not me, that's a first. So, how is the draft the product of gynocentrism? The draft existed long before women could even vote, but we're talking time periods where there was genuine misogyny. We haven't had a draft since the Vietnam War, so your point is rather irrelevant.
But if the man chose to be there, if he enlisted and he went there and then he experienced these horrible things, you know, it's like, that's horrible. I wish I didn't have to see those things. I wish I hadn't experienced those things. I wish I, you know, made different choices. But I did choose to go there. It's still his choice. So make the choices in your life. Be the type of man that is making choices in his life and is not just looking after women and trying to please people and agree with people. It's disgusting. It takes the backbone out of a man. It turns him into like a dog begging for a treat.
Damn, another straw man. You seem to have an infinite supply of those little fuckers. I don't know of anyone who's that cocked. You really should get empirical evidence to support your assumptions.
And there's a reason why. Society, culture around you, the women around you, this is the attitude that they want a young man to adopt. And if he doesn't adopt this attitude, he's not going to gain acceptance from the people around him. So be internally motivated. Choose to do a job because you want to do that job, and then hold yourself to your personal standard, right? It's a totally different, I'm sure you've been in touch with that, where you're working on something that you decided to do that you really care about.
Yes, we all feel that way in some capacity or form. But suppose a man wants to get married of his own free will. No one did or said anything. No one pressured him. He decided one day that he'd want to get married. Next thing you know, the monks are going to be screeching autistically, and I'll be able to hear it from 23 million light years away. And then, here's another problem. For advocating the notion of free will, the monks will threaten and silence their critics, or those they don't agree with, which is thoroughly unacceptable, it's futile, and will only damage their public images.
And you just want to keep working on it and get it, just right, as opposed to something that you have to do, that you never wanted to do, that you're doing because you have to do it to get along with this and to get the resources for that and to pay these bills so that you can impress this person, on and on and on. It's a horrible way to go through life. So don't do that to yourself. Moving on. Number 2. And these are tips, to stop a man from being a simp. Even though we are conditioned to be a simp.
Oh boy. Every time you make such a grandiose straw man, a part of me dies inside.
And our instincts lead us towards pleasing women, taking care of women, serving those around us. And these are decent, noble, virtuous instincts, but don't let them be exploited by some trashy whore of a woman that's making a fool out of you, and you're just going along with it so that you can be close to her because she's pretty. Have some standards that are a little bit above that.
What? Holy shit, it's something we both agree on.
If a man capable of the things that a man is capable of were to regulate his life and his existence to fulfilling his biological urges at any given moment, imagine how anyone who had control of their own biological urges for even a moment could manipulate that man like a puppet on a string for the rest of his life to his utter demise, to his utter destruction. They could program him to please the people around him so strongly, based on his natural instincts, that he would spend his whole life trying to serve other people. He would fail, of course, right? Because that's the game.
That's called social engineering. Just about everyone has fallen victim to it to some degree. The monks talk about men in an overly metaphysical tone. But why do they talk about the women as though they were just mindless beasts? They're both human. They're both greater than the sum of their parts. What you're essentially saying, at least what I'm getting, is that people need to grow up. And that's good, but people need to grow up on their own. There's nothing wrong in helping them every now and then, but we need to learn from our mistakes and those of others. That about sums it up. I actually didn't find that much insanity to debunk, but mostly I was getting tired of the straw men. Anyways, I'll catch you